Hey, what is going on YouTube? East Tactics here, and I actually have something really interesting that I want to show you guys that you may or may not be aware of. I actually ran into some information from another YouTuber that I follow, and they were talking about these cool little devices here. This right here is a 1 to 8S battery voltage buzzer. I would probably say that these things are an absolute must if you are in the airplane RC hobby, but they are still extremely useful and convenient if you are in the RC, basher hobby or RC vehicle hobby as well. And basically what this is it's super tiny, super convenient. You just throw it in your pocket and you can basically check the voltage of your batteries on the fly anytime you want. A great example for what a use for me in the basher arena is. So I think I'm actually hitting the low voltage cutoff early because one of my batteries has a damaged cell, I guess, or just a defunct cell that gets lower than faster than the others. And so I want to try something here. First, I want to check this battery and see what it's showing, which is why these things are so nice. You can just do this right here.
What's that?
The first cell is it's beeping because it's below 3.3 volts, I think. .2. Basically, the way it works is you want the little metal prongs to be facing you when you're using this thing, and there's really no wrong way to use them either. You can't break it, you can't plug something into it. You can plug this thing in any one of these 8 prongs. You can do it forward, backwards, and you're not going to break this thing. But the way that you actually test the battery is you hold this thing to where the teeth are facing downward, and basically these two circles here are speakers, and then this is the digital readout. So what you do is you plug it into your balance cord and you start it. You'll always do it from left to right, and you'll basically match up and then plug it in, and then you'll hear. I actually always put my fingers over this because it's a pretty loud beep. So I'm going to plug it in, and then boom, you see that it's 3S. The total power is 11.9 volts. Cell 1 is 3.84, cell 2 is 4.04, and cell 3 is 4.05. And then it just kind of goes through that whole cycle. So the question is, do I need to put this into storage mode? And technically it is a little bit high because the second and third cell are at 4.05, which means that they are not at the storage level. The storage level, the ideal level for a battery in storage mode is 3.8 or 3.85. And you'll notice that my first cell though is at 3.85, but my second and third cell are not. Honestly, I'm not going to really go into a ton of detail, but this battery is sort of jacked up because I actually broke the yellow terminal, and you'll see how it's duct taped. I had to go in and re-solder that yellow terminal myself back in there. And I did charge this battery a couple of times without the balance, the yellow balance lead hooked up, and for whatever reason I must have damaged one of the cells a little bit. It's not a ton off, but you'll notice that cell 1 is at cell 1 3.84, and then the other two are at 4.05. So for the most part, this battery does need to be properly set to storage mode because at 4.05 it's a little bit high. So now I know. But if I would have ran my batteries long enough while I was, basically doing this run before I ran into the problems, and if I would have gotten my cells down to all 3 of them being, well, obviously in this case, the 2 larger cells that are at 4.05, if I would have gotten those down to the 3.85 range and the other one would have been like 3.7 or whatever, then I would have just been like, dude, I don't even have to throw this into storage mode. It's already pretty much there and I'm good to go. So anyway, that's kind of like one of the more convenient uses of this little device for for yourself. You know, what's really nice is you can do this out in the field. You can, you know, check the battery levels before you throw them in your vehicle just to make sure they're fully charged or whatever. Now, granted, if you are an RC plane enthusiast, then this thing has really cool like features. Obviously, you're way more interested in keeping track of your battery levels if you're flying planes. You definitely don't want to take a battery out of your pack, especially if you've got a bunch of batteries, and throw a battery in there that's not fully charged. So out in the field, you can check on the fly. The other really cool thing about this though is there's a little button right here, and you can actually click the button and you can set this thing's mini computer, I guess, and you can set it. Watch when I press it. 3.3 is what it's set at now, and now it's going back through the cycling. So 3.3 is the low voltage cutoff for the beep on this. If it, for whatever reason, if this battery gets, if any one of the cells gets below 3.3 or gets to 3.3, it'll start beeping, and it's loud. And so, you know, and you can change that. You can change it from 3.3 to 3.4 to 3.5. Just keep pressing the button. 3.6, 3.7. Eventually it's going to get back to off. There's no beep. And then 2.7. Wow. 2.8. So you can go really low. From 2.7 all the way to 3 point something. So anyway, 3.3 is the default value. So anyway, what this will do though is if you've got it set at whatever level you want it to be at, and then you actually put this into your plane plugged into the battery, as soon as and you can do it in your RC car if you wanted, but obviously the ESC has a low voltage cutoff automatically, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna power down your vehicle when you get down to that point. But if you're flying in a plane and this thing's zipping by you in the air, and all of a sudden you hear this loud beeping noise, which, let me show you how loud it is. Pretty loud. So anyway, if you hear that beep, 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 then you know that you basically got to get your plane in and, you know, take care of it. So long story short, these things are super cheap, super convenient, and if you really want to maximize the longevity of your batteries, having one of these on hand and just really knowing everything you need to know about your batteries on the fly can save you a ton of money in the long run. And they're only like, I basically bought it for, I think what, about $3.50 each. And it actually came with a pack of 5. I don't think you have to buy 5 of them. I bought a box of them because I just wanted to have some extras. Sometimes I like to kind of throw out some cool gadgets to people that support me and support my channel. Anyway, thanks again for watching my content. I really appreciate all of you guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that subscription button, hit the bell, and, you know, maybe hit a thumbs up on this video. Keep your eyes peeled because I'm going to be basically installing this BEC into my vehicle here pretty soon, talking about the differences. I'll probably create a video kind of talking about the differences between the stock tires and these Proline trenchers, and, you know, many more videos to come. So oh, also another video that I plan on making here is these tiny little pistons that you put into your shocks. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but you actually get sent a couple of different sizes. This one is a 1.3, which I think is the stock piston in all 4 of your stocks for the Arrma Kraton 6S. However, what would happen if you install a different size piston and the impact it will have? Because one of my actual goals is to I want to beefing up my shocks a bit more. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got these things maxed out, because basically what I want to be able to do is take and drop my RC from like 6 feet up, and when it hits the ground it doesn't bottom out. And so I'm actually going to picking up 4 new springs from Tekno. They're going to be the Tekno orange springs, and then I'm also going to be looking into adjusting the pistons inside as well as my oils, and I'm just going to get my shocks to a perfect point for bashing. Obviously the stiffer your shocks are, it's not really designed for racing, but I'm all about bashing, and so I'm going to tune my shocks for bashing. Keep your eyes peeled for details on that in the future as well in my videos. Anyway guys, thanks for watching my content. East Tactics, out. So you guys know, these shocks are stiff. I mean, it's very difficult for me to push this down. I could drop it from you know, a good 15-20 inches up and she doesn't bottom out. And so running her on a very bumpy terrain might be a bit of a nightmare, but I don't know. It's very interesting.